Another beautiful day at the plot, early before the sun comes up, because once again it's going to be a scorcher. So, usual routine, the runners from the runner beans need reweaving into the leaves. I think I'm winning this game. It's just a battle of wills, really. Has that one got hooked? There we go, get him inside there. See if we can get him. Another one, that's a new one. And that one, there we go. So, they're pretty well organised. Looking good. I've been filling up with water this morning. I watered last night, but this morning it's feeding time at the tomatoes. So let's just go and give them a bit of a feed. I do this about once a week, but I was worried that one of these tomatoes had blight, but the fantastic viewers that I've got said, no, don't think it is, Malcolm. I think it's blossom end rot and it's a lack of calcium. So I'm just gonna step up the feeding a bit on these so that I can get rid of that, or at least slow it down. There's one tomato with that problem, so we'll see. Otherwise, in here, watered last night. Oh, got a bit of a fallen pepper that's got a bit of mould on it and is on its way out. I've had one or two early ones like this, but generally they've not been a problem. So, chicken food. And we'll give this just a fill up today because it's going to be another scorcher, so we just need to make sure everything is reasonably well watered. I think these last few celeriac are going in today. I don't know now that they'll come to anything in time for a decent crop, but hey, I'm going to put them in anyway. There we are. And I'm going to get rid of these few dead leaves, and these leaves were the product of being away from the plot for a few days, and the peppers just suffered a wee bit, but not too much. And we'll take that yellow one because that's coming off. Yeah, so we're underway, but I need to get out there so that I can make the use of the cool. So I planned to do this yesterday, but the sun came up just a bit quick. So I'm going to harvest these broad beans now. The plants are looking a little bit forlorn, following leaving them for a few days. And the bindweed has started to get control. So I'm going to pull these out. There's plenty of good pods on here. So I'm going to stack those to one side and harvest, and then clear the bed. So let's just have a look at a few of these pods. There's some beauties in here. So it's a mix of medium and larger pods, but I think we'll get a decent crop, and I'll put those in the freezer. They'll be fantastic for the winter months. So I'll get myself a pot and get going. Well, that's pretty much sorted. Bed's clear, and these pods, they're not massive and there's not loads of them, but seeing there's only one real broad bean lover in the household, gorgeous. They'll be just perfect for a first crop. Well, second crop actually. Well, I definitely haven't followed my own advice here. There's the beans. Not a bad crop, I don't think. So, what haven't I done? Well, I haven't taken these turnips at the right time. I've left them in too long, and I'm sure they're going to be large, but I don't think they're going to be particularly useful because they do get woody when they get large. So they're coming out, I have got more turnips in the background in the form of seedlings, and I'll probably put those into another bed very shortly. See, that one's not too bad. So I think that's an acceptable size, but I'd be surprised if they were all that size. I think they're going to be considerably larger. So we'll take that off. And one of the telltale signs is that the center stem is really very hard. In fact, nearly too hard to break off. So that'll go in the crops that I've harvested. And let's pull the rest of these out. Yeah. So that one's got the soil block off. That one's got such a strong central stem. It's really going to be hard in the middle, I fear. And that one, I think, is just a bit too big. So I definitely have left them too long. Let's see if we can get those out. And again, very difficult to get the middle out of that one. And this one, it's not got that bolted stem in it, but I just think it's too big. And let's have a look what else we got. And here's a giant one. And I fear that's just going to be completely inedible. It'll be fibrous and particularly hard. That one, maybe got a chance. Right, I'll get the rest of these out, get the tops off, and just recover this bed. So I've got these few swedes and turnips that I've had sown for a little while. I think it's time to get them in. I'll use this opportunity just to weed in here, although there's not much in here, and get those planted. And the swede have been really slow in coming through the germination, and I think that's mainly because my seed was pretty old, and I think next year I'm definitely going to have new seed for my swedes. So these plants are doing really well. They look really nice. So I'll just get the bed a bit organised. We've got a few weeds to get out. There we go. And the mare's tail, of course, which no bed would be without it. And of course the swede is a real winter crop, so they've got a long growing period ahead of them, so it doesn't matter that they're fairly small plants. And there's only, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in there, and then a bunch of turnips. But I'm going to fill this bed, make good use of it. I've got a couple of patches appearing now. I'm going to do something a bit different with the one that I took the white rot onions out of, and I'll show you that next. So, this is my white rot bed. I know, it doesn't sound too glamorous, does it? But this is where the onions came out of, and they definitely had white rot. And there's been lots of great suggestions as to what to do. Onion powder, or chopped up tops of onions. And I'm favouring this idea. The theory here is that the bed's now got white rot in it because I've just taken out the onions and there was lots of evidence of it. And if I add this material, really chopped up quite finely, I think, into the bed, then what it does is it makes that white rot get to its peak and basically run out of steam, because there aren't onions in here, it's just decaying matter. And that will mean that it can't grow and it can't produce more, and therefore it sort of burns out, and that leaves your soil in a better position for growing onions or garlic or generally alliums the following season. So this is going to be an experimental bed, and I'm going to get this chopped up, put it into the bed and just let it sit here for a while. I guess because there's white rot, we'll see some activity. I'll check on it now and then come the autumn, I'm going to grow some garlic in here. It might be a sacrificial garlic, but it's going to be a great experiment, and it'll be interesting to see if the white rot is minimal. So I'll get it chopped down and we'll get it into the bed. So as another viewer pointed out, you need to be quite careful with white rot that you don't spread it yourself. So given that this has definitely come from plants that had white rot, and I'm going to chop it with this spade, I'll give everything a good clean when I've finished, and I'll change these gloves, because on the face of it I can be the biggest problem by spreading it around. Right, let's make sure I get everything up, and we'll start giving it a good chop. Okay, I don't really know how finely to chop it, but I'm gonna spread this around now, and then I'll just get it into the surface. I think this is a no dig bed, so I'm not going to go mad digging it in, but given that onions normally sit on the surface and the white rot is around the bulb, then I'm thinking the surface will be just fine. And I didn't have all the onions in here suffering from white rot, but a good amount of them, and they're in the house and we're using them before they suffer too much from getting really soft and mouldy. So there we go. Need to be careful with my shoes as well. So when I'm done with doing this, it's going to be a bit of a change. Make sure I don't spread it any further. Right, there we go. All the implements still on the bed. Taking great care not to make sure I spread it even further. And I get off and give these a bit of a clean. I do hope you enjoyed the video today. If you did, click the subscribe button, click the like button, and if you want updates from me each time I upload a video, click the bell and select all. I do hope you have a great day. Diolch yn fawr.